Hello class, welcome to the upstream side of Lake Bella Vista. This is not the lake, this is obviously the farther to the south. And I wanted to show you a lot of stream features that are up here, just south of the lake, that really kind of demonstrate the power of streams and how we sort of have to fight against them sometimes. And I've got a little map video to go along with this that kind of shows changes over time, looking at the photos on Google Earth through time. But I'm here on the upstream side, and you can already notice there are some features here that are not natural. And I kind of wanted to point out what those are. So first off, remember that streams and rivers will erode on their outside, but deposit on their inside. So that's why we're seeing that point bar over there with all this gravel. So part of the issue is we have erosion out here on the outside where the water is picking up speed, picking up velocity on the outside of the bend, and it's causing erosion. It's bringing in all of its sediment, and just the force of the water itself will erode away this cut bank and eventually get over to where the trail system is, right over and here by the tree line. So you notice there's not much for vegetation all the way to that tree line. Well, what the I assume is the city came in and did, could have been somebody else, but they kind of pulled this back, or maybe this wasn't even here, but they laid down a whole bunch of logs and then brought in a bunch of soil to put on top of it. And all of these plants right here, you can see some of these little markers, these little flags. These are trees that have been brought in to plant here to try and hold the soil stable. And then we've got a kind of a cut bank, an unnatural cut bank that should be pretty resistant to erosion to allow this material to actually grow up to where the cut bank isn't going to erode, because that's kind of the powerful thing of stopping a river from meandering too much is you've got trees. You get trees on the bank, and you can really keep a stream or a river from meandering too much, because the plants hold the sediment and the soil in place. So we're going to move along here. I'm going to hop on my bike in a second. We're going to go down to the bridge, which is right over there. But as we come along, you see it kind of straightens out a little bit, but there's another stream that comes in and meets it right there. And so we pick up even more water. And if you can't tell, we've had rain recently. So there's actually a good bit of water in here, at least compared to when I was last here. And this I can't quite figure out. There's actually a couple of dams that were brought in right here of limestone. I don't know if that was just to try to slow down the velocity of the water or create a little spot for fishing. I don't know what. But you can even see there's kind of a mat right here to help keep the soil in place and help stop erosion. And this is all the way down this embankment. So let's hop on my bicycle and go for a quick ride. Need to lower my seat. Okay. Not easy riding a bike with one hand and filming with another. So you can see we're on the trail here. You can see just below. In fact, there's some settling on this trail. I wonder if it's from just a little bit of movement of the sediment underneath. So come over to this area, you notice we're going to drop down, and there's a whole bunch of gravel now that appears. So not too long ago, I'll go ahead and hop off real quick. Not too long ago, there was a fairly decent flood event that was high enough to carry all this gravel and actually bring it over the sidewalk here and onto the other side. So the stream comes around this bend right here and then meets up over there. I hope this isn't upside down the entire time. I've been flipping my phone. I may have to correct that. So here's this huge point bar, and if you have watched the map video already, you notice I pointed out, this big point bar here is fairly recent. there was no plants on it. Well, now there's plants on it. So it doesn't look like there's been very much of a flood event since then, since 2018-ish. Otherwise, it would have ripped these plants clear away. Now, another feature I wanted to show is what's going on here at this cut bank. You can kind of see there's a wall. In fact, there's a couple of walls. And there's one. There's a little fire spot. The closer one is a bunch of small boulders inside of a cage, or basically a fence. And this was something that I noticed that was farther on down the way. But the problem with putting rocks in a steel fence is what the gravel is made out of, what the bed load is made out of these of the sediment. And you notice this is chert. You make arrowheads out of this stuff. If you remember what chert is, it's microcrystalline quartz, and quartz is hard. It's harder than steel. You rub this across a steel fence, you'll eventually destroy the steel, and those rocks will flow away. Luckily, this up here I think is high enough that it's probably not too much of a problem. Other things we noticed, these big boulders down here, those are brought in to try to stop erosion. There's another retaining wall farther up where there's the trail's actually right above there, but you can see why this is important. There's a building up there, there's a parking lot up there. If this erodes too much, that comes down. Another issue we see is the bridge over here. Let me go grab my bike real quick. And we'll head over to this bridge. You can imagine problems with this bridge that are going to happen as this stream continues to try and meander. The inside is going to have sediment being thrown at it, but the outside is going to have a bunch of erosional problems, and you can already see that cut bank is eroding way back. And I give it maybe 2 to 4 years before that's past the bridge, and the trail on the other side of the bridge is going to just drop into the stream. But look at this massive point bar. It's huge. For a not all that big stream, well, it's a pretty good size. At least it is right now. So you can see issues over here with erosion. But more, that doesn't concern me too much, but that side concerns me. In fact, you can see I don't know if you can see, but this fence post over here is already kind of sticking out of the ground a little bit. So now, if you remember me pointing out on the map, there were those same sort of fenced-in cobbles, those boulders and gravel that used to be along this cut bank, and now they're gone. That thing has just been left to erode, or a road back. And I made the prediction when I was looking at that map, I wonder if the trail is actually, that got close to there, is actually eroded away. So let's go see if we can look at that real quick and see if I was correct. So think about possible ways you could have, one, how could you solve these issues? Two, is there a better spot we could have put the bridge instead of right up on the edge of the meander? Squeaky. So here we go down the trail. Down the trail. You notice this is pretty new asphalt. What else do we notice? Uh-oh. This is where the old trail was. And so it did get eroded out by the cut bank over here, and they had to straighten the trail and move it farther out. So it used to be right over here where this is. So pretty much gone. And you can see where it used to be over here. And then it picks back up over here again. So that was a fix they had to do, and that probably wasn't super cheap. And that came out of the tax dollars of the people here who live here in Bella Vista, most likely. Not a super expensive thing, you know, but maybe on the order of $5,000 or so in manpower and asphalt. Maybe more, maybe upwards of 10. Probably not, but you never know. Sometimes this can be brought in from another project that had extra asphalt or whatever. So sometimes cities and municipalities can be pretty efficient with this kind of thing, but this is going to continue to be a problem. And as you develop farther and farther upstream, you're going to get more and more higher flood events because you're increasing the runoff. And I don't think when they installed this trail system and that bridge, I don't think they appreciated that enough. I think the engineers doing this really just wanted to put the trail all the way out here and didn't appreciate just, okay, didn't ask the question, okay, well, what if in 20 years we get a lot of development farther south, farther upstream, and it increases flood events just from increased runoff, which is going to increase your velocity of your water. It's going to increase the height of your flood events, going to increase erosion, going to increase all the sediment being brought in. So I don't think that was quite appreciated enough, and I think they should have brought this bridge just a little bit farther down. Not much, just on the order of yards, and it would have been a better spot for it. Anyway, that's all. I hope you learned something. Cheers.